Coming up on the Suze Orman Show. Are you the person in the relationship that makes more money, or are you the person in the relationship that makes less money? I'm going to be talking about money and power, so you better stay tuned. Also, Dan, please be honest with me now. Do you feel like when it comes to money that you're a kid having to answer to your new mother that you married?
Yeah, that's true.
And you ask me, can I afford it?
I would like to buy a 2005 Corvette for $25,000. We want a fun car before we have kids.
And so you want to look cool. Hi, everybody. I'm Suze Orman, and you are watching The Suze Orman Show. Tonight, I want to talk to you about money. I always want to talk to you about money, but I want to talk to you about money and power tonight. What am I talking about? Listen closely. There are many of you out there that make more money than your spouse, that make more money than your life partner, make more money than the person that you may just be living with. And it seems to me that because you make more money, you think you have the power in the relationship. You come across with, well, I make money, I have control, I want to do it this way, and everything the other person is doing just doesn't seem to be right. So you're arguing about it all the time. You not only want control over the money, you not only want the power over the money, you want control over how your financial mate is handling their portion of it. And that leads to discontentment. Discontentment leads to arguments. Arguments over money lead to divorce, not living together, or the relationship simply not working out. Just because you make more money does not give you more power. I will say that again. Just because you make more money, it does not give you more power. The amount of money you make doesn't define who you are. What defines who you are is how you feel about yourself, how you act in a relationship, what kind of deeds that you do, all these things. You're just making money or you're not making money. So I'm asking those of you who happen to be in a relationship with somebody who makes less money than you, to simply take a look at your actions. Are you telling them what to do? Are you controlling them? Are you acting like you are their financial parent? Do you feel like you're more important than them because you bring in more money? If you find that you're feeling that way or thinking that way, I ask you to simply stop. I ask you not to act that way and to change how you are feeling, thinking, and what you're doing with your money feelings. Got that? You can change this and understand. You're the one who makes your money powerful. Your money will never make you powerful. Now to our one-on-one. Financial friction for a pair of newlyweds. Julie and Daniel are here from Houston, Texas. Julie is 27 and a dental hygienist. Daniel works in quality control for industrial products. They've been married only 8 months, and they're already arguing over money. All right, so Julie, you wrote into the Suze Orman Show, so tell everybody why you wrote in and what you want to see happen by the time this interview is over.
Well, my husband and I do not have the same opinion when it comes to money, and I think you shouldn't buy things you can't afford. And he thinks it's okay to, to just pay for it later.
And Dan, how do you describe yourself? Is how Julie described you as true? Do you like to just spend money? You don't care if you don't have it? Is any of that true?
To some degree, she is definitely more of a saver than I am. But I am trying to curb myself as far as to meet what she's wanting as well. But we definitely don't see eye to eye when it comes to financing and spending and budgeting our money.
All right, so give me, Dan, one example of where you do not see eye to eye when it comes to money.
Any kind of moderate to large expense, we differ very, very much with the idea of how we would pay for it. She would want to pay directly out of cash, and I would prefer to do some sort of financing I think financing can be okay if you use it in the right circumstance.
All right, so Dan, let's talk about this. Normally, when people have money, they buy things outright. I wouldn't finance anything if my life depended on it, because it makes absolutely no sense on any level to spend 5%, 10%, 18%, 20% interest that is not tax deductible in most cases, when all you're making is 0.5% or less on money that's in a money market account. So I don't think that it's bad here that Julie wants to have the money in hand before you buy something. And but normally, Dan, when somebody is wanting to finance or somebody is not really coming to grips with what's going on, financially speaking, it's usually somebody who doesn't feel powerful in a relationship. So if you were to describe how you feel in this relationship, do you feel powerful? Do you feel like you have any control whatsoever?
Yes, it's not that I don't feel I have control. It's more of I don't want her to feel like she's, what's the word I'm looking for? Unable to.
Can you not
make
protect
decisions.
her here? Can you just pretend like she is not there? And can you talk to me like a man? And can you simply tell me, do you feel powerless in this situation, yes or no?
No.
No. So you feel like everything's fine. You wouldn't change anything if you could, and you're as powerful as you want to be, correct?
Correct.
Then why does a 28-year-old man who feels powerful in a relationship allow his parents to pay for the payments on a student loan as well as the insurance on your cars when, in fact, you have $100,000 in a savings account? Why do you let that happen?
I honestly shouldn't. I totally agree with the idea that I should take over that stuff. Again, it's something that my wife and I, the miscommunication doesn't allow for the same viewpoint on where we're at financially. She tends to feel that things are a lot more tight than I do. I think we're doing pretty well for ourselves at this point in our lives.
All right, well,
And,
so Julie, if that's true, if you think things are far more tight than what Dan thinks, you have total control over the money. Now, we had you fill out paperwork. We had you put down every single penny that you spend and every single penny that you have coming in. How much do you think at the end of the month, the figures that you gave us, how much in excess or how much in deficit do you think you are at the end of every month?
I mean, I think that we are still saving.
What would that figure be?
I mean, at least I would like to save like $1,000 a month.
All right, well, you should know if you're in control of this money, are you or are you not saving $1,000 per month?
Yes.
You are. Well, I got news for you, girlfriend. According to your paperwork, you should have $3,000 per month in excess. $3,000. Not $1,000.
Well, that number isn't exactly accurate. I do temporary work some months. So, like, I might temp as a hygienist like once a month, or it could be 5 times a month.
But you gave us average, girlfriend. You gave us the average of when that happens. You took that into consideration. Listen, here's the bottom line between the two of you. I get that we're on television, and I get that television can be intimidating. But I think what really intimidates you is the unknown of your money. Not knowing for sure how much you both have coming in, how much you both have going out on average. So it's the unknown that you're afraid of. And the truth of the matter is, Julie, you are really doing great with money. So you've got to give up the control a little bit about what's going on in this relationship. Dan is acting like a kid. Wait, just listen to me for a second. Dan is acting like a kid. And the reason that he's acting like a kid is because I personally think you've made him feel like a child. He entered this relationship and he wants to feel powerful. He said he's powerful. Dan, you aren't powerful in my opinion. A powerful man would say, I don't care what you think, Julie. I don't want my parents to be paying for my college education anymore. I don't want my parents to be paying for my car insurance. I want to pay for it. I make money. I can pay for it. When he entered this relationship with you, you immediately paid off his credit card debt of $5,000 some odd for him. After you've done that, from that point on, Dan, please be honest with me now. A powerful man always tells the truth. Do you feel like an equal in this relationship, or do you feel like when it comes to money that you're a kid having to answer to your new mother that you married?
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
I do feel that way.
Tell her that right now. Tell her how you feel, because she's never heard this.
I wish I had more control of the finances where I could help out and I could spend things a little bit more freely.
Okay.
All right, Julie, here's your action plan. Here's what you need to do. Girlfriend, you need to give up control. And you need to let Dan show himself as well as you that he really is a powerful, good person. He's not asking for that much. He's really not. And you have the money here. You're 27, 28 years of age. You're doing pretty great as a couple now. So therefore, Dan, starting immediately, I want you to take total control for 1 month over the money. You are the one who is going to pay every single bill. You are the one that's going to keep track of every single cent. You are the one that's going to say to Julie if she can buy something or she cannot. And you, for 1 month, sir, do not have to answer to anyone. You are going to be on your own for a month. You are to write down every single penny that you spend. It's during that 1 month that you can make the decision to start paying for your own car insurance and student loans and tell your parents they don't need to support you anymore. Julie, look at you are terrified here. Look at your face. Are you willing to let Dan try it for 1 month and you have no say whatsoever?
Yes, as long as he's responsible.
Even if he is not responsible, then you will know for sure in 1 month that he is not responsible. And then, Dan, you're going to have to stay accountable to the fact that everything she is thinking about you and saying about you is true. And then you're going to have to change. But if he is responsible, Julie, you have got to change your attitude towards your husband. And from that day on, the two of you need to do your finances together. All right, so you both now know what I want you to do. Again, Julie, I just want you to understand. I want Daniel to do this because I also think it's important for you to feel what it's like to be on the other side where somebody is controlling everything and you don't have any say, because that is how Daniel feels. You are to do this, report back to me in 1 month, and all I can say is good luck. See you then.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
We do discuss money, but have never come out and said exactly what we each have.
Why do you think that is, Cindy?
Well, because we know that money breaks up the relationship.
No. And later, when wanting something, ask me, can I afford it?
I want to buy a Louis Vuitton tote bag. It's actually $850, but my fiance will contribute $400 as a gift.
So he is enabling you, is that correct?
Yes, a little bit.
Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. Cindy coming to us from New York. Girlfriend, you are on the Suze Orman Show.
Hi, Susie. How are you?
I'm fabulous, thank you.
My question is, my husband and I just got married, and even though we are happy, but I can't stop thinking about our finances. They are separate at the moment, and it is a big secret with us. We do discuss money, but have never come out and said exactly what we each have.
Why do you think
I
that
own my
is,
own-
Cindy? Why do you think that is?
Well, because we know that money breaks up the relationship most
No,
of
no,
the
no, no, no,
time.
no, no, no. Money doesn't break up a relationship. Not talking about money breaks up a relationship. Not communicating about money breaks up a relationship. Not being honest about money breaks up a relationship, girlfriend. Money has
Well,
nothing to do with it.
Well, that is why I'm asking you this question, because I'm wondering if I should be honest and talk about it, or continue to deny it.
All right, you can't continue to deny it, number one. You have to stand in your truth and be honest. And what is it that he doesn't know about your finances?
Okay, well, I own my own property, my own car. I have a large liquid savings, about $80,000. He has his own home and mortgage, and my problem is that I really don't want to add my name to the mortgage. And also, I don't want my husband to think that he is less of a man if I have more money than him.
Oh,
but on the other hand, I don't want him to think that I don't bring enough to the marriage.
Yeah.
What should we do?
So here's what you should do. Everything that both of you entered this marriage with should at all times stay in your separate names. You should never add either of your names on to anything that you brought into this marriage. That way it stays as separate property. And if, God forbid, this marriage doesn't work out, you get to leave with all of that. From this point on, however, everything that you do with money, you need to be honest about. So just go and tell him everything that you have, and also be honest and say, I don't want your name on anything, and I don't want to be on anything that you have, boyfriend or husband now. And just tell him the truth. I got news. I don't think it's going to be as hard as you think. We are going back to New York. Meredith, what you need from me tonight?
Hi, Susie. So I am actually just very nervous and very scared. My husband, who is in freelance film business, he since he moved here, basically hasn't been, there's no basic about it, he hasn't been filing his taxes. And so I'm extremely nervous as to what to do. I'm willing to help him. He is now embarrassed and overwhelmed by it all. So I really just need to know what to do.
You need to pick up the phone. You need to find a CPA or tax attorney. You need to take your husband by the hand into the office and do it with him. There are penalties. There are all kinds of things that are accumulating because he hasn't filed taxes. It's probably the worst thing that he could do. Not only hasn't he filed, he hasn't paid, all of these things, and eventually you're married to him, you're responsible for it. So take him by the hand and go do that right now. Let's go to Marilyn. Angela, ask me your question.
Hi, Susie. I love your show, and thanks for having me on today.
Anytime. Sweetheart, go for it.
Okay, hey, I was just calling. I was concerned about my 74-year-old mother. Both my brother and sister have families of their own, yet they, because of the economy and everything, they've acquired quite a bit of debt, and they never quite caught up on it. And they continue to ask my mother for financial help. But she's, a widow, and she lives on a small pension, and I want to help her, but I'm afraid that anything that I help her with will go to my siblings. So what should I do?
You have to have a talk with your mom and your siblings. Number one, I have to tell you, you are absolutely right. Anything that you give your mom, if she has it and her children ask her for it, she's a mom. She's going to say, here, sweethearts, you can have everything because I don't matter. The only thing that matters in life is you. It also has to be hard for you to see that your mom is suffering or possibly could suffer as she gets older because she's giving everything that she has to kids that really should be doing it on their own. Is that correct?
Correct.
So why don't you have a talk with your siblings? Have you tried?
Yes, I have tried, and, they think that she likes it. She loves helping us. She loves giving us stuff, so they continue to do it.
All right, so then has your mother ever asked you for money?
No, she hasn't, but she did ask me to go through, we did sit down and go through her finances about a year ago, which is what woke me up to the situation.
So you need to sit down with her, and here's how I would role play it if I were you. Mom, A year ago, you asked me to sit down with you about your finances. I did. Mom, you must have asked me to do that because you were worried about, do you have enough money or do you not? So I know the money you have, Mom, and I'm here to tell you, if you continue to give money to your other children, you are going to be in financial trouble. And I don't have the money, really, Mom, to help you. And even if I did have the money, I'm not going to help you because you would just give it to them. So, Mom, let's come to an agreement right now that if they come to you and ask you for money, you're going to say no. Up next, you can't afford to miss. Can I afford it?
I would like to buy a queen-size mattress. My husband and I are sharing the mattress that I bought in college, and ever since we got our dog last year, the bed is getting really crowded.
You didn't buy a dog, you bought a little horse. Also, can I afford it? Junior.
I want to buy Justin Bieber meet and greet tickets for his upcoming tour.
What do you think? Am I going to approve or deny you?
I hope you approve.
But what do you think I'm going to do? What do you want to buy?
2005 Corvette.
Louis Vuitton tote bag, queen-size mattress.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Can I Afford It segment. This is where you call in. You tell me what it is that you want to buy. And no matter how ridiculous it may be, that's not the point. I simply tell you if you can afford it or not. Let's see what we have tonight. James, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. How are you?
Fabulous, James. Fabulous.
I'm a first-time caller, but a long-time listener. I love your show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. What do you want to buy?
Well, me and my wife would like to take a $40,000 RV trip across this great country of ours.
$40,000?
Yes.
How long are you going for? 5 years?
2 months, the whole summer.
Wait, are you
60 days.
telling me it's going to cost $40,000 to go across America in 2 months?
Absolutely. The RV cost alone is approximately $15,000 just to rent it.
And you're going to
not-
spend $12,000 a month on everything else, right?
Right.
All right, boyfriend,
So,
you just show me the money. Go on, show me the money.
we take home $5,950 a month combined.
All right, so you're going to work about 7 months to be able to take this trip. Go on.
Okay. Our total expenses is $4,380 a month,
Yeah,
which includes $500 a month into a savings account.
great. I like that.
We own our home outright.
Fabulous, James. Fabulous so far.
Yep. Okay, we have no debt of any kind. No credit card, no student loans, nothing.
Yep, keep going.
We have $46,000 in liquid savings.
Yep.
And we have just over $1 million in retirement.
Oh, I love this one. So, all right, where are you going to get the money, the
I don't know,
$40,000?
Susie. That's the big question. We think we have enough funds there. We just don't know where to take it from.
All right, so you
we do
can't
have-
touch your retirement because you're only 43 years of age.
Okay,
All right,
correct.
so you have but you do have $40-some-odd thousand in an emergency fund.
Correct.
Correct. So chances are you're going to take it from there, right?
Yes, we kind of figure that instead of saving a lot of money through our years, we pay down our house instead.
Yeah, but so even though you own the house outright, so that's fine. So you're going to take it from the $40,000 or whatever in emergency money, right?
Well, some of it. Maybe we
Denied.
can,
Denied. Denied.
Susie,
Listen to me.
Susie,
You
come on.
cannot wipe out your entire savings to go on a 2-month trip for $40,000. Your daughter is young. You wait till she's 10 or 11. You have excess money. You have money that you don't spend every month. Just save it so that you have an 8-month emergency fund and can spend $40,000 on this. I don't care if it's 2 months from now or 2 years from now, but you can't do it. You are denied. You're grounded. Greg, what do you want to buy?
I would like to buy a 2005 Corvette for $25,000.
You want to spend $25,000 on a car that's going to be 7 or 8 years old, right?
Yes,
Why do you want to do that?
because we are young and we want a fun car before we have kids.
And so you want to look cool, and you think a 2005 Corvette will make you be cool and have fun. Is that right?
That's exactly right.
You know, I just have to say, how much fun do you have driving in a car, no matter what kind of car you have? Anyway, show me the money.
All right, we have a combined income of $8,509.
Yeah.
$750 of that is rental income off of a rental property we have.
Go on.
And we have an expenses of $7,807.
Yeah, so you have almost everything coming in is going out. Go on.
We have absolutely no debt.
Yep, love that.
We own our house outright.
Yeah, boyfriend, that's cool.
We have $126,000 in cash and $54,000 in retirement.
And you are 30 years of age. How old is your wife?
25.
Yeah, because you keep saying we. So you've done pretty great for yourself. How are you going to pay for this?
We were thinking cash.
Cash. See, that's what I like to hear. That's what James should have told me. I'm just going to pay in cash. I still would have denied him. All right, so you're going to then take your emergency fund down to about $100,000, correct?
Yep, that should be
All
8
right,
months of
so
income.
you're going to spend, don't you want to buy like an all-electric car, like a Tesla or like a Volt?
No, we want something fast.
You want something fast. Well, let me show you how fast I'm going to approve or deny you. Are you ready? You have been approved because you have more than enough money. You are actually doing great. And if that's how you want to spend it, go ahead. Sunshine, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. I want to buy a Louis Vuitton tote bag.
For $450, you know, I know my bags pretty well, although I only really have one bag. I've had like one bag now for 14 years. And then, but anyway, doesn't a Louis Vuitton bag cost more than $450?
Yeah, it's actually $850, but my fiance will contribute $400 as a gift.
So he is enabling you, is that correct?
Yes, a little bit.
Can he really afford it?
I think he can.
Maybe he should be calling in, and the question should be, can I afford to give my fiance $400 to buy an $850 bag? Show me the money, my dear Samchai.
All right. Well, I make $2,400 as my take-home pay.
Yeah.
I have $1,913 in expenses.
Yeah.
$412 of that includes rent. I have $29K in student loans and $14,000 on car loans. I have liquid savings of $14,000, and I have $607 in retirement.
Denied. Denied because you need at least $16,000 in an emergency fund. You need money to be paying off your student loan. If your fiance really wants to help you or your boyfriend really wants to help you, let him give you the $400 for you to apply towards your student loan, but you are short on your emergency fund. Therefore, you cannot take $800 and buy a bag with it. You need to put it in the purse rather than on a purse. Got that? All right, Lauren, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. I would like to buy a queen-size mattress.
A queen? I thought you were going to say, Susie, I want to buy a queen. And I went, really? But anyway, $1,000. How come you want to buy a new mattress?
My husband and I are sharing the mattress that I bought in college. And ever since we got our dog last year, the bed is getting really crowded.
You didn't buy a dog. You bought a little horse. Look at the size of that dog. That dog sleeps with you?
She does, every single night.
I think you need a double king-size mattress to be able to accommodate that dog. All right, show me the money.
Okay, together we have $6,400 a month in income.
Yep.
And expenses of $5,720 a month.
Good.
Our debt is, we have $287,000 left on our mortgage.
On an arm. Why don't you have a fixed rate? Why do you have an arm? But anyway, go on.
$55,000 left in student loans.
Yeah.
And $17,000 in a car loan. For savings, we have $5,650 in liquid.
Yeah.
$70,000 in investments and $89,000 in retirement.
And how are you going to pay for this?
Probably out of our liquid.
Out of liquid. Now, I'm sure everybody's out there going, but Susie, they don't have 8 months of an emergency fund. So you can't approve them. And guess what? They're wrong because you're approved. And the reason that you're approved is you really should have a bigger bed because the doggy needs a comfortable place to sleep. I don't care about the two of you, but you can't put that big bed, the dog, in a little bed. You owe it, but you're so young. And look how much you have in retirement and investments and things. So if anything went wrong, I think you would be fine no matter what. So in this particular situation, I'll say it again. Doggy, for you, because I love you, you are approved. All right, everybody, this is the Can I Afford It Junior segment where somebody under the age of 16 calls in, tells me what they want to buy. This is the hardest segment I do on this show, especially if I have to deny them. But anyway, they tell me what they want to buy, and I do approve or deny them. All right, Natalie, what do you want to buy?
Hi, I want to buy Justin Bieber meet and greet tickets for his upcoming tour.
Oh, for $400. You believe in him, right?
Yes.
All right, I get it. I get this fanaticism about him. But show me the money, love.
Okay, so between allowance and grade money, I get about $250 a month.
That is a lot. Uh-huh.
I have no expenses and no debt. And I have $1,000 in savings and $25,000 for college.
So I have a question for you, Natalie. How long have you been getting $250 per month?
Just this year, actually.
So this year, so for quite a few months, but you only have $1,000 in savings. That's only 4 months. What have you done with all the other money?
I bought just different things.
And any of the things that you purchased, do you wish you could go back and turn the hands of time back and not have purchased it and have the money in the bank?
Yes.
You do you? Because you weren't conservative with your money. Now you have things that you don't even care about, and you only have $1,000 in the bank. But $1,000 is more than enough than what you need to buy a $400 ticket, correct?
Correct.
All right, so therefore, what do you think? Am I going to approve or deny you?
I hope you approve.
But what do you think I'm going to do?
Yes.
Guess what? You are wrong. You are denied. And the reason you are denied is this. Suze Orman cannot let you take almost 50% of what you have in savings to spend on a ticket to something. If you want to sell all of the stuff that you wasted your money on, go on eBay, have a garage sale, and you want to raise money from stuff that is now useless and take that money and buy a ticket, okay. But you do not have enough money in savings to be able to do this, sweetheart. Sorry about that.
Okay, thank you.
I want to be part of the Can I Afford It segment. All you have to do is go to my website, SuzeOrman.com. And right there, you'll find the information you need to know to come and play with me right here. Next, I tackle trending topics in Ask Suze.
I was wondering if I need to be putting my savings into a Roth IRA or a company stock purchase plan.
Are you sure that you can't do both? Welcome back to the control room here at CNBC headquarters. So many ways that you can reach me. Take a look at your screen. You can send in an email. You can tweet me. You can join me on Facebook. You can also contact me by wanting to be on webcam. We have Justin, boyfriend. Ask me your question.
Hi, Susie. I'm 29. I've got an MBA, and I've been at my current job for about 10 months now. And I was wondering if I need to be putting my savings into a Roth IRA or a company stock purchase plan where I can buy the company stock at a 15% discount.
Why can't you do both?
I don't have quite enough to do both, so it's kind of.
Are you sure? You know, there's no limit as to how little you can put into a Roth IRA. I think both of those things are absolutely important. Obviously, if your company is good, if the stock is good, you're far better off guaranteeing yourself an automatic 15% return on your money when you can buy something at a 15% discount. So the real question back to you, MBAer, really is, do you think the company that you are working for is going to appreciate in value?
I think so, and for what it's worth, since I've been there, it's gone up about 40%. I know that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go up in the future, but it's been doing pretty well.
All right. So and you cannot buy. They're not going to let you buy the stock within a Roth IRA, are they?
No.
I was hoping you could have your cake and eat it too. All right, listen, you can't pass up a 15% discount on company stock. But I have a feeling that if you just looked at where you're spending your money, you could find an extra $100 or $200 a month to put into a Roth IRA. Best would be if you could put $400 a month into a Roth IRA. Are you sure that you can't do both? I want you to think about that. All right, let's go back into the studio, and here's what's coming up next. Barbara asked me, Susie,
how are we doing?
Here's what's interesting, Barbara. You filled out paperwork as to every single penny that you spend. So either you are not being honest about what you really spend, or you're frittering the money away. Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show.
Hi, Susie. My husband and I are in our 40s, and we have a 5-year-old son. I'm obsessed with paying off our mortgage early, and I don't know if I'm helping or hurting my family's finances. Our goal is to retire from our current positions in 15 years when our son graduates from college. We'd like to have the money and flexibility to work at something we love versus having to work to just pay bills. Susie, how are we doing?
Hey, Barbara, welcome to the Suze Orman Show.
Hi, Susie.
All right, so girlfriend, if you were going to give yourself a grade as to how you think you are doing in regards to the question, can you find another job and work in 15 years with something that you love, what grade would you give yourself?
I would give myself a B.
All right, let's see what I give you. But first, let's show everybody the facts and figures about your life. Retirement, they have $275,000. Emergency fund, $7,100. Investments, about $11,700. Current home value is $295,000, but they still have mortgage debt of $114,000. Remember, everybody, Barbara is working hard to have that paid off in 8 years. Consumer debt is 0. And Barbara, you currently have a net worth of about $475,000. Does that surprise you?
I was hoping that was about where I would fall.
All right, and does it make you feel a little bit better that that is where you fell?
Having you say it, it makes me feel a lot better.
All right,
it
now
sounds better coming from you.
Let's have me tell you about your income versus your expenses. You currently have monthly income of $7,397. Your monthly expenses are $5,691. You put $50 away every month into your kids' educational fund. So you currently today have an excess of $1,657 per month to do anything you want with. Does that surprise you?
That surprises me, yes.
So why are you surprised?
Because it doesn't seem like there's that much money left over at the end of the month. It seems like we run a pretty tight ship. And I know usually whatever I have extra, I do send to my mortgage. So maybe that's where that's going. But
we already took that into consideration. Now, here's what's interesting, Barbara. You filled out paperwork as to every single penny that you spend. And according to what you filled out, we had come up with this $1,600 a month excess. So either you are not being honest about what you really spend, or you're frittering the money away. So I want you to look at the paperwork again, how you filled it out, and maybe you'll find, oh, I didn't put down that we did this and I did that. And maybe you would find that you really do have $1,600 extra a month if people weren't wasting money that you aren't accounting for. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to assume that you really do have $1,600 extra per month. If I were going to grade you, I would give you a B-. So we're pretty close there. Now,
okay.
The reason that I give you a B- is, number one, you are short on your emergency fund by about $33,000.
Yes.
If you only continue to put $50 a month into your kid's educational account, you'll only have $27,000 by the time he goes to school. So I think you're short there as well, and you don't have any long-term care insurance, and I think you need it. But here is your way to an A. You're really doing great. Let's assume 15 years from now, you don't change anything. And you simply continue to invest in your 401k and your retirement plans exactly like you're doing. At 56 and 60, you would have approximately $701,000 in retirement accounts. If you just retired from your current job, got another one, and left that $701,000 alone to grow until you were 67 or 70 years of age, you would have approximately $1.1 million. At the same time, if I were you, I would find that $1,600 that your paperwork is showing that you have, that extra money, and I would take it and for the next 2 years put it into your emergency account so that you would have an adequate emergency account of 8 months of spending. I would also have you refinance your house. Currently, you are paying 5.29%, I believe, or right in there, interest on your house. Why not refinance it for 8 years to about a 3% interest rate? That should save you about $15,000. And in 8 years from now, when in fact your house is paid off, I would take that money that you were paying towards your house and buy a long-term care insurance policy with it. If you did all of that, then you would have an A, and when you were 67 or 70, you would have about $7,700 a month with everything coming in as after-tax income for you. I think that's a pretty good plan, don't you? Up next, one more thing that I want you to know. You saw the interview, but I want to tell you that interview, for me anyway, was like pulling teeth. Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. All right, that's almost a wrap here on the Suze Orman Show. But before we go, oh yeah, there's still one more thing that I want you to know. Earlier in tonight's program, we had our guests, Julie and Daniel, on. Now, you saw the interview, but I want to tell you that interview, for me anyway, was like pulling teeth. It has been edited, it was cut, we did it, we started over, because obviously we taped the Suze Orman Show. This isn't live, as you know. And what was interesting is that when they got on air, they lost all power. Julie, who was this powerful woman in her email that wanted to say things, when it came to asking her, she became very meek. She wouldn't go for it. What is that about? When it comes to talking about money with each other, when each of you are present, you don't tell it like it is. Even Daniel backed off on his story and he became powerless. But when he, in the pre-interview, were talking to the producer, he was powerful. He said he didn't like it. He said all kinds of things of how he felt controlled. But on air, in front of his wife, he was like, oh, it's okay. I had to pull teeth to get him to say he felt like a kid. So what that says to me, and why I'm telling you this, is that it's easy to tell your friends how you're unhappy, to tell others how you're unhappy, to tell others how you feel. Why is it so hard for the two of you, if you're in relationship, when it comes to money, to talk to each other, to talk with each other? Stop it. Grow up. You're adults. If you're living together and you're dealing with money, you should be able to talk about it. Got it? Now you know. But until next week, there's only one thing that really matters when it comes to your money besides talking about it, and it's this: people first, then money, then things. Now you stay safe. Bye-bye.